On the A+ exam, you're going to see a number of common security threats mentioned. We've talked about these in different places throughout the course, but let's pull them all together here and make sure they all make sense to you. Computer systems are vulnerable to three main threats. The first one is just normal wear and tear. Things wear out, things get old. Accidents and malicious activity. Now, when we're talking about normal wear and tear, we can use things like scheduled maintenance. We can do regular upgrades. We can replace certain types of hardware as it starts to exhibit problems or age. And we're going to do all that to manage the threat of normal wear and tear. This is pretty straightforward. Accidents are another thing. Files will get deleted. People will spill coffee and soft drinks and water into equipment. Inexperienced personnel won't understand how to use certain aspects of our programs, and they'll delete things or they'll change things incorrectly. And user education and our data backups are what's used to manage the threat of accidents. The most challenging security threat by far is malicious activity. Now, there are four types of malicious activity that you'll recognize out there, and that is unauthorized access, administrative access, and environmental threats. The last one, malware, we're going to deal with that one in a total separate video. Now, when it comes to unauthorized access, there's non-malicious unauthorized access, and this comes when we get confused on our permissions. And if you've ever worked with Active Directory permissions, users and groups, and if you've ever worked with permissions and things like SQL Server or Exchange Server, you know it's very easy to get confused and improperly apply permissions. And so a user realizes they can do something that others can't do or they didn't know they could do, and they can inadvertently cause some problems. Now, when it comes to malicious unauthorized access, you can use things like going through the garbage, finding all kind of little notes that gives you clues on how to log into a system. You'll see old usernames, passwords, and that sort of thing out there. A lot of users will write down their new passwords and then throw the notes in the garbage. So you want to be careful with that kind of information. Shoulder surfing, if I can stand behind you and watch you work, I can learn how to use the particular piece of software. Also, if I can watch you type in your username and password, I can eventually figure it out and then log in myself when you're not around. And then, of course, everybody's favorite in the movies anyway, social engineering. This is where I gain enough information about different aspects of the company to convince some other user to let me use their password, to give me more information that I need to get where I need to go. And then there's access infiltration. It is amazing. We used to do security surveys. If you put on a brown suit, people assume you're there to deliver something. They'll let you come in. If you wear any kind of uniform looking thing with your name, you look legitimate and they will let you in and wander the hallways. It is really tough to control access infiltration in a lot of places. When it comes to administrative access, this exposes the user to the ability to make some very serious mistakes. So the recommendation is that you limit administrative access even to administrators. Administrators should log in with standard user permissions and always use those. And when they need to take administrative functionalities, log out and log in with an account that has administrative access rights. Of course, the Windows operating systems with the UAC, the user account control, is taking care of some of this for you. And then, of course, there's environmental threats. And I've already mentioned this in the course. Watch for this on the exam. This is cropped up in the last couple of A+ editions, and it's a very popular topic for the questioners, and for good reason. The air quality around your equipment becomes a threat to your security and your network, especially in the server rooms, because high humidity, high temperature, dust particles in the air, any kind of fumes, gas, anything like that that can affect the way heat is transferred, stored, dissipated. Environmental threats are very real. Watch for them on the exam. So that's just a collection of some of the common security threats you may see mentioned on the exam.